Finally, Ferrari has leaked some details of their 2023 car. With the team desperately seeking their first championship title since 2008 this season, one couldn't help but wonder what they're gonna do differently. Obviously, something needed to change on the car because they had a very troublesome season in 2022. But is it that easy? And will they see an improvement in their performance? Well, let's take a look at the changes they made. To begin, let's look at Ferrari's most recent challenges in the 2022 season. Ferrari's 2022 title bid suffered a slow death due to the reliability issues in Spain and Azerbaijan. With its knock-on effect for Canada, there was also strategic mistakes in Monaco, Britain, and Hungary, with Hungary being Ferrari's most recent strategic disaster, as Leclerc termed it. Leclerc looked nailed on for a morale-boosting and very much needed race victory at the Hungarian Grand Prix, after having gone from third on the grid to the race lead by halfway point after a superb overtake on George Russell. Verstappen, after starting 10th, was on the charge further back, but Leclerc soon raced into a comfortable 5-second lead and Ferrari held all the cards. The race, however, took a dramatic turn as a result of strategy, with Red Bull seemingly spooking Ferrari into a mistake. Although responding with a pit stop for Sainz, Ferrari decided to pit the race leader. To make the decision more bizarre, Leclerc had only used the medium tires so far, and the softs would not have lasted until the end of the race. Leclerc's pace immediately proved why teams were reluctant to use the hard tires. Leclerc was sitting duck to Verstappen, who passed him twice before and after a spin, to effectively assume the lead. Leclerc would then pit again from second, which dropped him all the way back to 6th, where he would finish. Next are the changes that the Maranello team is making for this season. Red Bull dominated the 2022 season and won it, something that Ferrari hopes to change this season. Now, in order to do that, they need a competitive car, which is why the team has been working hard on the engine's reliability since the first half of the 2022 season. What are some of the changes that has been made for the car in 2023? Well, we're going to have to wait patiently for February 14th, the day that the Maranello team will present Project 675, and also Valentine's Day. We're all aware that the team principal Mattia Binotto resigned and was succeeded by former Sauber CEO Frédéric Vasseur. Rumors in the F1 world also have it that Vasseur will fire chief strategist Iñaki Rueda. They also gave Binotto a 6-month paid gardening leave, which is now reported to have been increased to 12 months, obviously with added financial compensation. This is meant to ensure that Binotto doesn't join a rival team soon. Do you think the new leadership is going to help the Maranello team become the 2023 champions? Now, let's look at the first details of Ferrari's 2023 car that will stay loyal to the F175's concept, as revealed by former team principal Binotto. However, he also stated that it will be faster and more reliable, so unlike Mercedes' car, Ferrari will not change its DNA. First, the bomb engine. Some spectacular and costly engine failures earlier in the campaign, like Leclerc's blowups in Spain and Baku, plus Sainz's fiery exit in Austria, prompted the need to slow things down a bit while a solution was put in place. According to sources, the weak element in the power unit have been singled out as the spark plug within the pre-chamber. This was the latest evolution of the TJI, turbulent jet ignition combustion system that MAL had made available to Ferrari in 2016, which had allowed the team to close the power gap with Mercedes. In the 6 years since, enormous strides have been made in the development of a system that has been optimized for the latest generation of power units, that were homologated to be frozen until the end of the 2025 season. The TJI system includes the spark plug and the fuel injector. They're both housed in a well in the cylinder head, and both elements work together to help maximize power. Only 2 to 3% of the fuel is injected into the pre-combustion chamber. The rest spreads over the piston surface. The mixture inside the cap is particularly rich, while the combustion agent in the chamber is leaner, with more air than fuel. The ignition of the spark plug reacts with a very rich mixture in the pre-chamber, and it causes the creation of plasma jets through and open holes in the cap. Thanks to the high pressure, the lean mixture is self-ignited in several points of the chamber, with a flame spread that extends to the entire volume of the cylinder. The system makes it possible to shorten combustion times, which delivers 2 advantages. First, the very lean mixture in the chamber means the harmful effects of detonations are reduced, meaning that you can increase the compression ratio for more performance. Plus, with teams still limited on how much fuel can be used in a race, for the same amount of fuel injected, greater thermal efficiency is obtained, which also equates to more power. Ferrari pushed development to exploit the maximum pressure of the injection system, which reaches 500 bars as allowed by the regulations, and aimed for 5 discharges for each engine cycle. But the extreme concept led to increased internal temperature, which caused the spark plug to suffer and eventually break. The engineers therefore had to tweak their mapping to not push the spark plug over the limit, while the external supplier worked on delivering new materials to ensure that the component could cope with the needs of the engine in maximum power mode. Ferrari's performance in Abu Dhabi suggests that the spark plug problem seems to have been solved, which will be a big ol' boost to Ferrari's hopes for 2023, where it knows it can't afford a repeat of its reliability woes. Next, Ferrari has redesigned its chassis to be able to adopt Red Bull's RB18 sidepod concept. In 2022, the Ferrari sidepods had a clear deporting function with the wide flare at the top and a rather pronounced front part. The aerodynamic layout of the 2022 F175 did not tend to reward the flow of air over the floor. The 2023 car, on the other hand, will be able to direct the passage of the air between the lower part of the sidepods and the upper edge of the floor to the extreme, advancing the cooling vents and creating a large flare, which many other teams adopted from Red Bull during the 2022 Formula 1 season. It's worth noting that if Ferrari wants to use Red Bull philosophy in the initial part of the sidepods in the 2023 car, it'll have to reconsider the internal dimensions of the chassis and, most importantly, the positioning of the anti-intrusion cones. In fact, the Red Bull chassis lets the lower side impact structure get housed inside the openings of the Venturi ducts. This is possible because the underduct part of the chassis has a wider channel. Moving on, the bodywork and the double floor principle. The bodywork that on the F175 extended behind the engine cover, narrowing into a semicircular section of variable diameter depending on the layout and ambient temperatures, will be replaced by horizontal vents that will extend all the way over the rear suspension members. This is a configuration partly borrowed from Red Bull, and which, being equipped with sloping sides, will be forced to dissipate heat through the rear vent in grills of varying width and on the sides of the cockpit and at the base of the engine cover. Something that Ferrari hopes will bring the same success as it did for Red Bull. Ferrari is a team that knows when to do the right thing, which is why they don't tend to be shy when it comes to adopting designs from other teams. The step between their vertical section and the floor side is now much more noticeable, and beginning next year there will be a channel that follows the double floor principle that was present again in the RB18. Given how revolutionary this design was, rest assured that Ferrari ain't here to play no games, but they is here to win races. And I is here to learn grammar. Finally, the compulsory 2023 car changes by FIA. The FIA has announced some car changes to be implemented for all cars on the grid in 2023. So obviously, we'll see them on Ferrari's car. The floor edge's height will be increased by 15 millimeters. The rear view mirrors will be increased in size from 150 to 200 millimeters, so as to improve the driver's visibility on the track, increasing safety on the track. The car's minimum weight will be reduced from 798 kilograms to 796 kilograms. In 2023, the wheels will also have additional arches to aid in wet weather racing. The roll bars will have a rounded top and the ability to endure greater loads, as well as a 15G collision impact with the ground, so as to increase safety on the track. For more insight on these mandatory changes for the cars in 2023, watch the video What F1 Just Announced for the 2023 Cars is Insane on our channel. Don't forget to tell us what you think about the 2023 Ferrari's car changes in the comment section down below. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for the latest news on Formula 1. I don't know why I said it like that. I just wanted to be cool. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.